Is that part of the video?
Just to like.
So the purpose of this video is to show what rates have been in the last 15 years and determine what an actual reasonable projection would be for the next 15 years.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, cool. So we got Ahmad here. This is Ben from Team Sunshine. Ahmad, our operations guru, and the video that we're going to shoot today is really to understand utility rates over the last 15 years so you can make good projections. Because a big thing with solar is projections, right?
And disclaimer, we don't like to promise anybody anything, right? So what happened the last 15 years may not happen in the next 15 years. We won't promise any rates or anything like that, but we just want to show you using actual raw data, government statistics, what has happened in the last 15 years, which I think gives us a pretty good idea of what's going to happen in the next 15, 20, 30 years.
Exactly. This is all historical data, and Ahmad's going to take you away on some of the economics of solar so that we can prove some of these numbers for you.
So just so that we can show you what this kind of looks like, we pulled this from EIA, which is the U.S. Energy Information Administration. So they've got rates over here, as you can see, average retail price of electricity to ultimate customers, and this is in 2004. So we're going to go back 15 years, 8.95.
So we're looking at EIA, which is a government website.
Yep. And then this is in June 2019, Massachusetts, 21.43.
Okay.
And that's combined supply, delivery, everything all included in one. So we go back to 2004. The rates were 8.95 cents per kilowatt hour. In 2019, it's 21.43 cents per kilowatt hour. So we've already done the math, but we'll show you just so that you can see it. Over the last 15 years is how much? A 240% increase. And I think the best way to be able to kind of explain it so most people can understand is what does that look like year to year, and what would a bill have looked like in 2004, what would it look like in 2019? So
because sometimes it's hard to let that sink in what your bill actually will be in those projections in those 15 years. Some people they see it and they say, "Holy crap! Is this just you trying to scare me, or are these real numbers?" We want to show that these are real numbers, and that's what we're doing here.
Precisely. So when you go back 15 years and we pull the rate 8.95, so we said that this is what it was in 2004, 15 years ago.
Yep.
We go times 1.06, so that's a 6% increase. 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 2019, exactly 6% increase per year. And what are we usually quoting people at when we're giving projections for the next 15 years?
3 to 4%.
3 to 4%. So an increase in 6%. So just so that you can understand this in actual terms, right?
Yeah.
Your 2004 bill, let's just say it was $100, which would have been a decent sized bill at the time. Maybe that's an above average bill, but just to use simple numbers, if you had a bill, an electric bill in 2004 in Massachusetts, using the same amount of kilowatt hours in 2019, you're paying $240.
And that is based on the EIA, the U.S. Energy Information Administration's numbers. Now, what does this 6% include?
What do you mean by that?
So this number is 6%. This includes all towns and municipalities in Massachusetts.
So most people, when we calculate the rates, and this is something that we do for all our clients, our prospective clients, we tend to like to educate them. So even if they don't qualify for solar, or they're not able to do it for whatever reason, we want to educate them on their bills and how to actually calculate it so they can see what they're actually paying. Because most people, they don't understand these numbers, but they're not supposed to, right? We're experts. This is what we do.
Exactly.
So
This is mumbo jumbo until we slow it down and break it down.
So here's an actual very recent bill. As you can see over here, this is from June 2019, right? This is a customer paying $335 for this 1 month bill at 1,407 kilowatt hours. And in order to calculate that, so what we do over here is we go 335 divided by 1,407, right? They're paying, what is that, Ben?
23.8 cents per kilowatt.
So what we can say is that for most people, right, because municipalities, towns like Mansfield, Norwood, what were the other ones? Braintree, Shrewsbury, towns that have local electricity plants, they're generating their power for their town. A lot of them do gas or water, what have you. Their rates are actually much lower than what basically everybody else has, right?
Exactly.
So this is your residential electric
So
rate.
if you have National Grid, Eversource East, Eversource West,
Formerly Wamico or what was the other one? Enstar.
what you're paying is actually slightly different.
You're closer to about 23.8 cents, 24 cents per kilowatt hour,
Which is what we just figured out.
using an actual bill, right? A recent
2019
bill. So based on that, you're looking in the next 15 years, that 23.8 cents per kilowatt hour. I mean, we can show people this, and it sounds kind of crazy, but your 23.8 cents per kilowatt hour bill, right, with another 240% increase over the next 15 years. That's what your rate is looking like in 15 years.
And this is not to scare you.
No.
And what was that rate?
It was
57.
57.12. So
Right, so this is not to scare you, but these are healthy, factual projections based on the last 15 years.
based
So
on that.
a lot of you can remember 2004. And 15 years kind of goes by in a blink for a lot of people's lives. I mean, it's went by, I remember 2004. So in
2004 was
2004,
8.95 cents.
you're paying 8.95, now you're paying 23.8. A few short years later, it's 2019. Based on the same calculations, you would be paying 57.12
Cents per kilowatt hour.
cents per kilowatt hour.
So I mean, on a bill like
And what is
this,
that equal to on a bill?
on a 1407 kilowatt hours, that's a big summer month.
Yep.
About 2,400 square foot home.
Yep.
Your 1407 looks like, I almost don't even want to show people this. Hold on a second, that's not right.
Doing math on camera.
That's that same bill according to the last 15 years projections. We're just using the same projections on this bill. And that's not to say that, we can't promise that the next 15 years, like we said, are going to be like the last 15 years, but we also can't not promise that it'll be more than a 6% increase in the next 15 years. So I guess the gist of this whole thing, right, with what we're doing and in terms of solar is, and the reason we like to use 15 years as a projection is because we typically do a 15-year note for solar, right? A 15-year financing program, no money down, right? So you don't pay anything out of pocket. We try to eliminate your entire electric bill, right? So that's our goal. You're not paying what you're paying right now. And we can't promise you that you're going to qualify or that these numbers are going to add up.
Right.
But in all of our cases so far, on a 15-year note, you're either paying what you're paying right now or significantly less.
Right.
And what does that mean for the next 15 years, right? So if you're paying $240 a month today, right, we can match your bill, right? Let's say we don't even save you money at all, right? We're just 15 years, and that's, in most cases, it's not going to look like that. It's going to look a lot better than that. But let's say for the next 15 years, you're locking in your payment.
So this would be very conservative.
Very, very conservative. You know what you're going to be paying for the next 15 years. Worst case scenario versus you're looking at something like this in the next 15 years. And you're building equity into the system. I think that's a whole other conversation though.
At the end of the 15 years, you're paid off.
You own it.
And you own that. So we're trying to, what we're doing here and the purpose of this video and the purpose of what we do and why we exist is so that we can get ahead of this. Because if you wait too long, well, I mean, it's always going to make sense. I think honestly, it's solar is going to make sense for a while. But the sooner you get ahead of this, the less you're going to pay your utility.
Right.
You don't get this money back. You get this money back. If you pay into a loan,
Worst case
15
scenario,
years,
you're paying what you're paying right now, but you own it.
and then on the back end of that production of that system, for another 20, 25 years, 30 years, whatever it is.
We'll warrant it for 25.
Yeah, so it's warranted. So even like baseline for another 10 years,
After the 15 years.
you're paying
Nothing.
$0. Or you do nothing and you pay this. And if we didn't prove these numbers and we just looked at these numbers, you'd probably say, it wouldn't be necessarily believable. That's why, we did
We're using
this, right? That's why we did this. We're pulling this data directly from the U.S. Energy Information Administration. It's not to scare you.
And we just showed you
It's not
how
to
the
scare you.
actual rate
Yeah.
is even higher than what they're saying it is.
Exactly. This is with municipalities included. If it's another couple of points, that number is a little scarier. And is this?
It's compounding. It's a huge number.
Yeah, exactly. And could this happen? Do you think this could happen?
Absolutely. So, I mean, I've done some solar in California. The third tier in San Diego Electric is 51 cents. In 2019, today.
Yeah.
Let alone in 15 years from
15
now.
years, it's going to be very interesting, for sure. But they also have some cool solar programs.
They're getting it done.
They're getting it done. Massachusetts has very high rates, and we exist to get you.
Absolutely. And before the utilities, the state rebates and federal rebates significantly decrease.
Yep.
So,
And
we're trying to get ahead of that.
December this year, I think they're going.
You got to be installed by the end of the year, so you can get the full 30% down payment tax credit.
Yep.
So that's the way we look at it.
Yep.
And then there's the smart programs in blocks. So National Grid's on block 2 and or block 3, and EverSource is on block 2 out of 8. And
Right.
each block is going to just decrease in the amount of value of the rebates coming your way. So. I think to wrap it up,
Yep.
we were in 2004, 8.95 cents,
Yep.
according to the government website. In 2019, we were at 21.43 cents. It's an increase of 240% over the last 15 years, or 6% per year. So, if we were to calculate that over the next 15 years, we took a $335 bill,
Yep.
and it's looking like $803 in the next 15 years.
Yep. So either don't do this math, or you do this math and make
Let
an
us do it.
economic decision. So you could do this math at home, right? What we just did, you could easily do. We also do this for and with people so that we can walk them through the whole process.
Exactly.
And that's our invitation.
And then we'll
to
show you what that 15 years is the next 15 years will look like.
Yeah.
Conservative, we won't even hit you with the 6%, we'll do 3 or 4%,
Yeah.
and we'll show you how the tax credits work. And then also the 10-year Massachusetts Smart Rebate Program, and you're actually gonna get paid
Yep.
for the next 10 years,
Exactly.
and we can calculate those numbers for you as well.
right off your system. So when we break it down these numbers, we want to make it work really well at 3 or 4%.
Right.
Even if
And we want to make
numbers
sure
are 6 or
you're
8%.
saving money immediately.
Exactly.
Right.
So that at the end of this phase, we're very conservative. That's the basic. If it makes sense at 3% or it makes sense at 4%,
Yeah.
I mean,
You don't even need to use that number.
yeah, that it's an investment.
Absolutely.
It's a good one. Cool. That's about it. Hope you guys got something out of that, Team Sunshine. Get in
Thank you.
contact
Thank you.
with us. We'll do the math for you.
Here to help.
We'll figure out the right success game plan, and like we talked about, an energy game plan. Because before you didn't need it, now there's other options, and
Get ahead of it.
get ahead of it.
Yeah.